our custom values and how do we use them? The first thing to know is how to get to our custom values section, which can be found by clicking on the bottom left settings and then navigating to our custom values on the left-hand sidebar. Custom values are pieces of information that you can create and assign a value to. These unique codes, which would be found in the key section, can be used throughout your account, whether that is in the workflows, using things in notifications or emails or text messages, as well as in your funnels themselves. So this is something that can really save you time if you do it the right way. It can also eliminate errors. And if you have an account that's preloaded with everything you need, one of the accounts that I would provide if we were working together, it's going to make editing your system 1,000 times faster and easier. But you do need to understand what these values mean, what we're looking for, and how and why you would create some on your own. The values that I have created in this account go with the different funnels and workflows that are already pre-populated. However, you may not need them all, and you may not need them all at once. What you want to do is really understand what you're going to be using this system for, especially initially, and then what are the things that you can utilize over time. So the first one that we see here is the 1-hour consult booking thank you page. The reason that I create thank you page custom values is because we might use one calendar in a variety of places, and we want to make sure that anytime somebody books on that calendar, it goes to the right thank you page. So as opposed to having to have a thank you page in every single funnel where this calendar might be present, we can just make sure that calendar redirects to that URL whenever it is booked on. However, that is one setting of so many in the calendars, and a lot of people miss this. So as opposed to saying, hey, go into your calendar, make sure that all your calendars have the proper URL redirect, we've used this key in the calendar settings, which means that all you have to do is click on this edit button and plug in that thank you page URL right here whenever you have it, so that it will autofill everywhere that key is used. We always have this 1-hour consultation meeting location set up as well. So if you're a physical business, this might be your physical address. If you do meetings on Zoom, this might be your primary Zoom link or your PMI, that permanent link in Zoom. Maybe it says, we'll call you at the number provided. So this is wherever that primary sales appointment takes place. We also have the URL for your actual booking page. This would be the page URL where your calendar is present. This is going to be used in a lot of automated follow-up. If someone completes step 1, such as that opt-in step, but they don't yet book, we're going to be saying, hey, congrats on taking the first step, but there's still another step for you to take. We need you to book on this calendar. So as opposed to going through every single workflow that might have that verbiage in it, you can simply put that URL here. If that URL ever changes, you can simply edit this, plug in the new URL, and you don't have to worry about digging through every single place in your account that URL might be present and updating that. So again, it makes updates and changes much easier. My rule of thumb with custom values is typically any URL, we create a custom value, and any piece of information that might change. In my accounts, I add additional values just to make your life a little bit easier, such as this business name value. This might be a different name than what you've actually called your sub-account. That does happen in certain occasions. In this case, it's going to be the same, but because I know this is used in several places, we're just going to go ahead and fill this out. Easy Tattoo Design, and update it. We also have 2 sections for colors, main brand color and secondary brand color. This can't be used everywhere that colors are present, but they are used in certain areas to, again, make your life easier. So what we're looking for here are the actual hex codes. So if I was to edit this first value, I'm going to hit edit, and I'm going to plug in the hex code for the color of the brand. If you're not sure how to find that, you can use something like imagecolorpicker.com or even go into Canva and you can see this photo colors section right here. So all I would need to do is click on that color, then click on this plus sign, and it's going to give me that value right there. So now our secondary brand color is simply going to be black. So we're going to go ahead and update that here. We also have business city location. So this might be a city, it might be a neighborhood, it might be a region, it might be a country. So wherever your audience typically resides, this is what we would put here. So I'm going to put Louisville because this is where this business is located. We also have the business logo image URL. So this is going to be auto-filled into several of the funnels if you're using one of my accounts. What we do here is we upload that logo, we grab that URL from the media library and we plug it in here. And then it's just less work for you when it comes to actually updating those funnels, particularly the really simple ones that maybe are just a change of logo and a change of color. Now we have business appointment type. This is the name of that type of appointment that you are trying to drive your leads to. In this case, it's a free tattoo design consultation. So this should be that primary appointment that you are driving someone to. Maybe it is a strategy call. Maybe it's an in-home estimate. Whatever that is to you, you're going to plug in what that is ultimately called. Then we've got a product or service focus. So we're going to say tattoo design and hit update. So maybe this is kitchen remodeling, or maybe this is coaching and consulting, whatever that looks like for you, you would plug that in there. Now I'm going to go to this next screen and we've got additional URLs. This is for that core offer landing page that we would be sending someone to. Then we have a customer avatar, and this should be the primary avatar. So if we're not really sure what this is, where it's going to be used, we can skip it for now. And ultimately, you may not even necessarily need this. If you were a home service business, however, you would be putting homeowners. If you're an agency that works with a certain type of business, you would say med spa business owners. In this case, this is someone who works direct with consumers, and we don't necessarily have a name of that avatar. So we're just going to skip it for now. If we run into this custom value in one of the funnels or the workflows, we can see how it's being used and maybe we remove it. Maybe we just type in what we want it to say. That's something that you can cross that bridge when you come to it. We also have a deposit page link URL for someone who's submitting a deposit for their tattoo. If we're using gated content offers or the gated content funnel that is in this account, this would be the actual URL of that gated content page. The title of your gated content offer, which might be 10 styles of tattoo to choose from. If someone is opting in for a guide on 10 styles of tattoo to choose from, it means they're probably looking for a new tattoo and want a custom tattoo design. So we would simply edit all of these to fit the business. This is going to be the URL from your Google review site, your Google My Business. If you are using an initial call booking calendar, which in this case, we are not. We are going straight to that tattoo design consultation. We could put the booking page for that initial call here. So again, part of this depends on what your sales process is, and you may not need every single value. You would not need those values because those values are present in the workflows that would go with that initial call. So if you don't fill them in, it's not going to be a big deal because you're not going to be using that initial call calendar. We could also give that a location. We could also give that a name and that thank you page as well. Now we'll move on to the following values. This would be the job start date calendar URL. In this specific case, it would be the date they actually want their tattoo done. This would be the lead magnet URL. So that PDF of that 10 tattoo design styles to choose from, we could actually put the link to that specific lead magnet. This is going to be our lead notification SMS number and our lead notification email. This is used in some of the notifications because often you are not going to assign it to a user. And in fact, we can't add an assign to user step if a user isn't selected, so it's hard to preload that into your account. This makes it really easy. So we are going to do this email and hit save. We would also put that phone number in the lead notification SMS area. If you send out custom quotes and someone other than you may be putting those quotes together, you may want to use the quoting system that I have set up in my accounts. And in that case, you would put who is the person who needs to approve the quotes before it's sent to the client. What is their email? What is their phone number? And then this is the URL in the funnel that's already set up. However, you can't get those URLs until you connect your custom domain and you attach them to the funnel. So those URLs will be dependent on those two steps being done first. We also have a quality control survey in this system. That would be this URL. We have another client quote approval page. That URL would go here. Our quote type is going to be a tattoo quote. We've already filled that in. Our quote upload page. Again, if we are doing custom quoting, those would be the pages in those quoting funnels. We also have a referral funnel and the referral program offer. So maybe this is $50 for every client you send our way. Maybe for you that looks different. So whatever your referral offer is, you can go ahead and plug it in there. However, that's only going to be used in the referral funnel and in the referral funnel workflows. So these are very custom to how you are using your system, which funnels you're using, which workflows you're using, etc. We also have a service agreement URL. There is a contract page in this system. If you choose to use that, you're going to drop the URL for that contract page. We've already filled out some of these services that are offered, as well as our special offer details and the Twilio number that we set up in this account. So again, everywhere that these custom values are used throughout the account, it's going to autofill with this information. If you are starting from scratch, you can now see how I use some of my custom values to give you ideas on how you may use yours. I definitely, again, recommend URLs, any piece of information that may change. So hopefully you have a better understanding of custom values. Now let's go ahead and take a look at how those are actually used inside of a workflow so you can get a better idea of how much time this can save you, again, if you are using one of my accounts where these custom values are present.